Hello there, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. Some weeks ago, I had this wreath hung on my front door for the Jubilee, and it's time for me to change that to a summer wreath, and I'm going to show you how I make my wreaths for the front door. This wreath was made on a flat on a flat frame, and looked like this, with no dimension. The fabric added the dimension. Today I'm working, that was a 12-inch frame. Today I'm going to work on this frame. These are florist frames, and I'm going to work on this type of frame, which I haven't worked on before. This one's 14-inch, but I'm going to use a similar principle. And in order to do it, I'm going to back it with hessian. So I'm going to cut 3-inch ribbons from the hessian and wrap that round and glue it in place so it's very secure. I've got lots of leaf and foliage. This is eucalyptus leaf and some odd bits of foliage. My main colour scheme is going to be these yellow peonies. I thought they were yellow roses. I like the idea of yellow roses around my door, but then when I saw the leaf, I realised that they're peonies. So this one's going to be peonies. I've got leaf, and I've got some, I've had these for a long time. I bought these in a garden centre. I've got some reeds, some red stuff, don't know what that is, and just some white stuff, just for a little bit of variety. And I bought wisteria leaf, which had been white, and you'll see I'm going to photograph them. I actually dyed these white floral leaves. I dyed them blues and purples because I thought I'd use a colourway of the complementary colours yellow and purples and blues on this wreath, and I used my Derwent Inktense pencils to do that, and they're already dry. So I'm going to start off with cutting my hessian and securing that in place, and then I'll come back to you with my camera overhead to show you what I'm doing next. Well, I had bought these white wisteria. These are artificial flowers from Allure. They were £9.99 for this stem of cream artificial bunch, and I have dyed them using my Derwent Inktense pencils. I've used the bright blue and violet and used water on them, and I've now turned them from that white to this and left them to dry. So I've done a variety of shades, a variety of colours. So I've gone from the palest blue to the darkest purple I could get, and I've left them to dry. So to begin then, I've got my ring. I've got a piece of double-sided polyester satin ribbon, and I've chosen this lovely purple shine. I'm actually going to repurpose a piece. This is 2-inch wide satin ribbon. It's beautiful, and I think I've used this before. Look, there is a little bit of creasing in this. That would iron out. This happens to measure 56 inches, and I'm going to use this piece. I think as long as I know that I can get it up and over my front door, that's sufficient for me. If I was making the next one, I'd cut 60 inches. And the other thing I've done is I've cut ribbons of hessian then approximately 3 inches wide, and this is from 72-inch wide hessian material. And I'm going to start off, my glue gun, it's just off camera, but my glue gun is nice and hot. And I'm just going to start off getting the hessian down. But before I do that, I want to firmly fix in place the ribbon. Now the ribbon needs to be wide enough to look in proportion, but it also needs to be strong enough to hold it very firmly in place. So I'm just going to tie the ribbon then in half, because it's double-faced, it's the same front and back. And you see where it was repurposed before, I've actually just got a knot in the same place. I'm going to take that up to the top. I'm going to take the knot up to the top and double knot it there. And then when the hessian goes down, that can really cover that. But I think there I've got sufficient to go up and over my front door and to secure it firmly on the inside. I'm going to start off with my hessian at the side so it doesn't draw attention to the starting and ending just here. So I'm going to start it at about 10 o'clock. If I talk about the o'clocks, I'm going to talk about my ring in terms of a clock face. And I'm just going to start off with it and just glue it in place there, just to secure it. Be very, very careful with your fingers because this glue is horrendous, and that's sufficient just to secure that in place. I've actually cut 4 of these already. I've not done this size before, but as you see, as I go round, I leave about a 1-inch overlap as I'm going round the circle. I've cut more than 4 actually, because I'm going to make more than 1 ring, but I'll tell you how much I've used once I finish it. At the end of each one, I'm going to secure it with the glue from the glue gun. I'm just going to do that. I need 2 hands to do that. As I go around the circle, I'll show you what it looks like when I've gone all the way around. There's my finished ring. I'm going to show you that it's as neat on the back as it is on the front, and I've actually secured it in place and glued it down on the reverse so that the fabric wasn't running out and showing on the front. Right, so having decided on my colour scheme, which is going to be based on the peonies then, I'm going to split things in half. So I've got 3 peonies. I could either do 1 display. I'm actually going to do 3 displays, but my main one is going to go at about 7-8 o'clock, and then the lighter weight ones are going to go round the circle. So probably about 4 o'clock I'll put that one, and about 1 o'clock I'll put the smaller one nearer the top, so there's interest around the circle. And because these are round flowers, I need a variety of things to go with them. The wisteria that I've coloured already are again round. Fortunately, the peony leaves are spiky, so I've cut all of those down. I'm going to use those. I've got eucalyptus leaves, which are great fillers, and from those I've taken the tiny flowers off, and I'll show you what I've done with those in a minute. I've used some of the old items that I bought in a garden centre years ago, and I've cut them down just so I've got a variety of shapes. So I'm looking for spikes now. I've got rounds, I've got spikes. I want spirals and ribbons and curls. So I've cut some green grass. I've got some of these lovely bamboo. They feel like suede. They're lovely. I've only got 5 of those, so I'm going to have to split those between the 2 yellow ones that I do. I've got these that I've cut down, and they're actually on wire, so I think they will spiral because the wire will help keep them in place. And then I have ting, which I buy from garden centres. They were this long. I'm going to show you how long they were in my kitchen. So that's what they look like, the curls at the end, and they were this long, so they're about 3 foot long. So what I've done is I've taken the round bit that I do want to use. This is the bit that I'm going to use, and the woody bit that I cut off here, I've actually put together as bunches, and the bit of bud that I cut off the eucalyptus I've attached to that wood. So I've now got a little purple floral display, and I've just secured the buds on with a bit of floristry wire. I use this. If you haven't got floristry wire, any twine, string, cotton, anything just to secure it, because we're going to glue these in place. But these are belt and braces, so I've used the floristry wire, and I've done 3 of those. So we need sufficient to do 3 displays around. If you've seen me reclaiming cotton from cotton shirts, go back and watch my charity shop haul and see. You might recognise this. I've just got some cotton, and I've cut them into ribbon threads. I'm going to use those as ribbons. And the other thing that's very useful for all sorts of things, but it is very messy and gets in the way, is this raffia or raffia. And again, if you haven't got this, you can buy ribbon thread. I saw them selling it the other day in Homesense and the range. Have a look around your house and see what you've got. What you're looking for is things that will create shapes for you and interest. but still within your colour theme. So I'm now going to start round the circle and start gluing things in place. This then is my finished purple and yellow wreath with the peonies. What you'll see as you look around is that I've put the heaviest weight around about the 7 to 8 o'clock, the lighter weight at about 4 o'clock, and the lightest of all at the top. And I've varied slightly each bunch, but there has to be some cohesion to tie them all together. As I go in closely, you'll see I've put the little bunches, at an angle, pushed a ribbon down, put the ting up. This one's got the bamboo in it, bamboo reed. I've tried to get the leaves going up and down and also into the centre of the ring and coming out of the centre of the ring, so there's interest. Can you see that coming out of it as well as into it? And then right the way round the circle. And I've used the tiny bits of wisteria to hide all the mechanics of the glue, so you can't actually see big swathes of glue around that. I've done each section slightly differently, but they all have a similar content. And I've also tried to make sure that I'm not going to knock anybody's eye out when they come to the front door with this. I've used less things at the top and a slightly lighter weight ribbon and a slightly lighter weight ting. And then the other thing I did was I went round it, so to have a connection between each of the displays, I wrapped the raffia round over the hessian. And that is the final floral wreath. So that one's going to go up by my front door tomorrow. I'll photograph it once it's in place. I'm going to make another one that's in a different colourway now, and I'll show you that when I finish that one too. For the alternate colourway then, I've used pink, rose and hydrangea. And as a consequence, I need to use rose leaves. I've again used eucalyptus. I've used some of the spiky things that were more of a maroon. I've spiraled these, and I've again put in some of the purple pieces of wood. And I've used a contrast pink cotton ribbon. It's very shabby chic. Again, as we go towards the top, the lightest weight must be at the top. But when I actually hung the wreath up, it didn't look like this one. About at 3 o'clock, I think. It didn't look full enough, so I added in a few more leaves. It looked okay from the side, but when you looked at it from the front, it looked a bit bare. So that's the one that's going to go out later in the summer. So for now, I've given you some ideas of how to make a wreath for your front door. These will be lovely gifts if I go to visit anybody. And they're lovely for weddings, special occasions. And I'm happy to make these for people for weddings when a friend gets married. Right, so from Chester, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter, saying bye for now. See you soon.